What's up, everybody? I'm Jonathan the Baptist. Today we're going to talk about that vice presidential Republican debate, also known as the Republican presidential primary debate, the third. So, yeah, so that's a thing that happened this week. I think that everybody's kind of got their hot takes, and basically everybody, I think, at this point knows that Trump is probably going to win. So I was like, we're having another one of these? Like, Trump is so far ahead in the polls. Like, what's the bother? But that's okay. You know that politicians like to get their screen time, so there we go. Now, I will say, I'm fairly disappointed because I thought that when I made some of my early videos, I thought that like Ron DeSantis would actually give Trump a run for his money, but he has run one of the worst campaigns. I was like, I don't know, like I don't know who he has gotten to run it, but it has not been good. It has been mistake after mistake after mistake, and I don't know. You know, I still like the guy. I think that he honestly has facing some of the same problems that Trump did in his first year. As president, in that Trump didn't know who he could trust, and so, I mean, the first year or so of Trump's presidency really was just him finding out a bunch of people were going to backstab him. And I think Ron DeSantis basically ended up in that same camp. He's put a lot of trust in, I think, the wrong people. But yeah, you live, you learn. I think he could still be a good president. I'm not opposed to him. I think if he runs, not this time, but next time, he might be able to do it. I don't know. We'll see what the race looks like then. I think the real star that's come out of these primary debates is Vivek. Did not see that one coming. Guy came out of left field, and dude, like, he says a lot of great things. Here's my problem. One of the things before I tell the problem, let me tell about the good things about Vivek. I think that he's challenging a lot of the narrative. He's not afraid to say what everybody thinks. He's a very polished guy, but he's not afraid to speak off the cuff. He doesn't come off as if he's like, trying to be politically correct in everything he says. He's just telling you what he thinks, and I like that. He also tells you what's wrong. He diagnoses the problems, and though I don't agree with everything he says, a lot of what he says is really good. The problem with Vivek is that I don't trust the guy. He's flip-flopped a few times, which maybe it's just because he's young and new to politics, and so he's kind of correcting for what he said before. But I don't know, like, he's young, he's green. I like the idealism that he has, but I don't know, like, I don't know if he'd make a good president. Yeah, also, like, he's Hindu, which is interesting. One of the things I don't like about him is that he tries to pretend that we have the same moral basis, and I'm just like, we don't have the same tradition. Like, America's got a Christian foundation, a Christian faith, and he tries to talk about God and faith as if he's got the same God and faith that we do and the same morality we do. But that's not Hinduism. Hinduism is very different from us. So it's like, it's really cringe when he starts talking about faith. But otherwise, he says a lot of true things. So I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, he's not running for president this year. I think everybody and their mom knows that he's running for VP or another cabinet position, but basically VP. And I think he'd be a good VP. You get two loose cannons in the White House, that'd be hilarious. Um, but yeah, I think that he did really well in this last debate. I loved how he challenged the media. I love that he's like calling out names. Um, I love that he's anti-war. I think that's great. I think Trump does it a lot better, but that's okay. All right, Nikki Haley. I think Nikki Haley really has lost a lot of respect from me. Which, I mean, I'm a nobody, but I liked a lot of what she did in the UN, and maybe that's just the best position for her because it's obviously not as president. I didn't realize she was such a war hawk. Yeah, it's interesting because people have talked about how like female monarchs in history go to war a lot more than men, um, because I guess they have like women are weaker than men, and so they have this natural instinct to uh, escalate things, like, and so like whereas men like we can yell at each other and shake our fists at each other, and then like sometimes that will like neutralize things, whereas like women don't really have that same custom of like you know looking at each other angrily. I don't know. Maybe I'm making stuff up. I don't know. But I feel like I feel like her position just seems to, we got to go to war. We got to give these people money to fight wars, and I'm just like, and maybe it has nothing to do with gender. I don't know. Maybe she's just been hanging around all these rhinos, and she's just kind of been influenced by their war hawkishness. I don't know. Could be anything. I don't know, but I did not realize how war hawkish she's become. It's a bit crazy. Let's see. Tim Scott. I like Tim Scott a lot. My problem with him, because he says a lot of great things. I don't like everything he says, but he says a lot of great things. Um, but my problem with Tim Scott is he has zero charisma. It's like I just. I'm like, I agree with what you're saying, but I'm also bored with listening to you. He's not really saying anything new. He plays it too safe. I just feel like if he pulled the boxing gloves off and was like, okay, it's a real fight now, I'd be like, okay, let's go, let's do this thing. But I don't know. He just maybe that'll change with time. I just feel like he hasn't really said anything all too important. I did like how he talked about that we need to go back to like our founding, go back to our Christian heritage. I'm all for that, but like it's a little too late at this point for him to be saying stuff like that. Chris Christie, I don't even know why he's in the running still. Like, maybe he's secretly trying to help Trump. I don't know. But I didn't like Chris Christie in the last election. In 2016. The guy just, I don't like him. And then in 2020, when he was like, I'm pretty sure he's the one in New Jersey who was, had lockdowns, but then he went to his own private beach. I was like, dude, like, so the rules are not for you. Like, they're for everybody else, all the plebes like me. But for you get special rules. I'm like, I don't like this guy. So, he never says anything good. I disagree with basically everything Chris Christie says. I don't like the guy. I don't trust him. So there's my thoughts. Right now, Trump, I think, is the natural winner. I think that Trump could do a good job. He's crushing the polls right now, which I don't even really care about polls. I don't really trust them. Never really have. But yeah, so I think Trump would be a good president. So That's really all my thoughts. It's not really much, but I haven't really talked about what was going on in that sphere in a while. Um, I am curious who Trump will pick for VP. Um, he needs to be smart about it. I think if he chose Ron DeSantis, which I don't think will happen, but man, it would be good if he did. Um, because DeSantis is a good governor. And so, like, if he chose DeSantis, it would, number one, set him up to be president next time. But also, it would really be like an olive branch to the other side of the Republican Party, because DeSantis has been their guy. So, but I think it'll probably be more like, if it's going to be one of those guys on stage, I think it's probably going to be Vivek. But I don't know. We'll see. Could be anybody. Let me know what you think. Who are you leaning toward voting for? I mean, obviously, I'm leaning toward Trump. I thought it would be a lot closer with DeSantis, but I just don't think he's done that great. But if you disagree, let me know why. I'm curious what everybody thinks there. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace.